My name is Lyndsie and my pronouns are she, her. And today I want to go over standing balance work, part 2 in my little series to buff up your balance. And the things you're going to need today include a yoga block and a surface of some kind that's to support you. I'm going to use a foam roller for this personally, just as like an handle in case things get messy. But you can do like the top of a table or countertop, even a windowsill would be relevant. Something you can hover a hand over to hold on if you feel a little uneasy. The dogs may be in and out of this. This is their domain and their house, so they do whatever they want. But to start, I'd like to warm up the ankles a little bit. So to do so, I want to take a moment and find a big flex, pressing your big toe joint down into the floor and lifting your heel. I'll turn so you guys can see that a little bit better. Like you're wearing a big, ridiculous pair of high heels. We're trying to keep it mostly big toe joint pressure so we don't fall out to the sides or collapse into the center. Just some nice pressure here. You should be feeling some sort of stretch up the arch of your foot. Now, a big part of balance is just happy, healthy feet. So if you tend to have really tight feet and you notice that your balance isn't great, try to go find my foot release and massage series and see if you can get some of that chronic foot tightness worked out, and then you might have better luck balancing in life. All right, now we're gonna flip that foot over so the toes go back and stretch the front of the ankle. Whew. Again, we're trying to not fall out to the sides or collapse into the center. 2 more big full breaths. We're then gonna pick that foot up and roll it around both directions. Yep. All right, and stand that foot down flat. Let's do the other foot. We're gonna find that big flex, pressing the big toe joint. Ooh, this is the tight side today. Very tight, very tight. Okay. Breathing, we're trying again to not fall out or collapse in towards the center. That's harder to do on this side for me because this big toe is really tight today. I'm barely getting any stretch up the arch, but that's okay. That means that I need to be stretching this toe. All right, 2 more breaths. All right, and then we're gonna flip that foot over and stretch across the front of that ankle, across the top of that whole foot. Ugh. Big breaths here. Trying to stay right up and down the center. Blech. Yeah, this is the tight side. I walked around San Francisco on Monday and I'm filming on a Friday. So my shins are still mad at me. All right, and then we're gonna flip that foot over and roll the ankle around and then reverse it and roll it the other way. All right, now from here, we're just gonna work on waking the feet up a little bit, bringing them into the game. Have your surface nearby, and you can hover over it, or if you just wanna leave it as an option towards the end, that's fine. You can bring your hands to your hips as well. Shoulders roll away from your ears. And on your next exhale, you're gonna lift your heels up and inhale, lower them. Exhale, lift, inhale, lower. It's okay if the first couple are really fast because you're feeling uneasy and uneven. Normal, don't worry about that too much. 3 more times. 2. Last one sticks. Stay up, bend one knee, drop one heel. And then lift up to switch. Lift, back and forth, always coming up to go back down. 3, 2, and 1. Both heels go down. Now you're gonna find some external rotation. I don't particularly care if your heels touch here. It's more about that rotated shape. It doesn't need to be massive either. You'll see that I went like big at first and I went, no, scale that back. I just wanna make sure you feel some rotation in your hip sockets. A little squeeze on the backside of your butt kind of comes inherently as you externally rotate. And on your exhale, you're gonna lift up here and inhale back down. Now, the important part is try to keep those legs fired up and don't let your knees buckle here. As you come up, a lot of people go out wide like this. So just think, how do I squeeze those inner thighs and work through my feet? For 3, 2, and 1. Heels come down. Okay, shake it out a little bit. Now, if you've done my Buff Up Your Balance episode 1, you're gonna recognize this first thing we do. It's that inline balancing moment. You're welcome to have your ocean handle nearby. And we will use this block soon, I promise. It's not there for nothing. From here, we're gonna take your right foot directly in front of your left foot. And then, I'm gonna turn to face y'all a little bit better. From here, we're gonna shift our weight forward and back a couple times, okay? And then stop with an even weight distribution between your front foot and your back foot. We're just building the same skills, trying to remind our feet what their jobs are. Arms can be down by your sides, hands on your hips, or one hovering over whatever surface you have as your ocean handle. Shoulders out of your ears. And from here, pick a spot on the wall in front of you. Now, if your feet are freaking out, guess what? They're doing their job. Let them freak out a little bit, and your goal is to just calm it and try to stay really vertical. Now, once you've found a piece of balance, your version, you're gonna turn your head left and right and mess with it. Almost always am I going to give you an option that starts you in a nice stable position and then messes with it. Because that's how we improve, how we get better. Because the world is not an easy, stable place. Let's come back to center, pause for a moment, shift your weight forward and back again. Find that little inner thigh squeeze, find your spot on the wall in front of you, and then close your eyes for 3 breaths. We then open the eyes, step back out of that positioning. Ooh, and shake your feet out a little bit. Calves might be getting tight. Normal. Be kind, roll your ankles if that feels nice. Let's get the other side done. We're just starting these same drills from the first episode so that we can get warmed up in a similar fashion. We're gonna step the left foot forward in front of the right. Find a little shift forward and back. Woo. This side is not as stable. Okay, now that we're here, find that spot on the wall for you, shoulders out of your ears, and then you're gonna add a head turn to this. Oh yeah, this one is a little more difficult for me today. Last set of head turns. Back to center, pause here, shift a little forward and back. All right, now pause again. Find a spot on that wall, stare at it, get vertical, and then close your eyes for 3 breaths. Last one. Open your eyes, step yourself out of that tight little line. Now let's bring the yoga block into play. So we're gonna be standing on this yoga block, and if your feet are longer than one yoga block, stack one behind it. You can have both. And have your ocean handle nearby. I'm just gonna keep saying that because it's very funny to me. We're gonna step one foot up onto said yoga block. Whew. And we're gonna stand tall for a moment. Now here, let's bring the free foot, the one that's not on the block, into dorsiflexion. And the work we're gonna do is pretty simple to start. You're literally just gonna keep the toes pulled back towards your shin on the free foot, and you're going to lower it without bending your other knee and lift it. Yeah, look at that. How my hip can go down and up. It's not a really big motion. It's small, but it's about how do I lower and lift this hip. and AKA tilt my pelvis. My whole pelvis is going. 2 more times. These little intrinsic muscles. Last one. Now step off. The foot that's on the block is gonna get tired. It is doing a lot of work. So we're gonna take breaks every once in a while and stretch the arch of that foot. Right now, my foot was screaming for it. It was like, help me, help me, help me. If at any point you feel like you need to take a break, stretch your foot, step off, do it. Take a break, come back to meet us wherever you are, or pause and come back into it. All right, I'm gonna come back up to it. You'll notice that my ocean handle is on the opposite side of the foot that's working. It is probably the most stable way to do this, okay? So be good to yourself. We're gonna stand back up, and we're gonna point that toe just ever so gently. And now, stabilizing on that standing leg, we're gonna swing the other leg forward and back behind us. That's it, y'all. We're just changing our orientation to the world and how our body adjusts for it. You'll notice as the free foot goes forward, it's likely that you'll find more pressure on the ball and toes of your foot. And as it goes back, you'll probably find more pressure on the heel of that standing leg. Last one. Come back to center, set that foot down and step off of your block. Stretch that foot again. The fact that your feet are getting tired and are working is a feature, not a bug. Your feet are the baseline of your support, your feet and your ankles. So by building strong, healthy feet, we build better balance. Let's come back up to that block. I'm gonna bring this roller slightly in front of me now. We're gonna stand up, hovering that hand as lightly as we can on the ocean handle. And we're gonna open that leg out to the side and close it. Let's take your free hand onto your hip. Woo. Your range of motion is up to you. We're just trying to create instability that your body has to negotiate. Now, if you find yourself hyperextending your knee, like locking it back into place, find a moment to soften that knee ever so slightly and go back out. It's easy for us to get into a bone lock scenario where we're like, yeah, I can support myself. But really, that's not your muscles anymore. That's literally your bones locking on top of each other. One more time. And bring it in, step down. Stretch that foot again. Stretch the arch of the foot. And then we're gonna switch sides. All right, let's bring our other foot up and stand up tall on that block. Now, dorsiflexion in the other foot, okay? And the movement is gonna be lowering the hip and lifting it. This side is smaller for me. Say lower of that foot like you're trying to put it on the floor and lifting without bending either knee. You can see that my pelvis is literally tilting up and down. 2 more. Woo. This side is hard for me. And now step that foot off and stretch your standing foot, the one that was on top of the block. All right, let's come back into it and we'll do our front and back kicks. So we're coming up, standing up nice and tall on that block. Now, we're not gonna dorsiflexion the foot. We are gonna hover it. We're just gonna let it be naturally down, maybe a tiny bit of a point if your feet aren't super long, mine are. And we're going to kick it forward and then take it back behind us. So kick and pull. Yeah. So you'll actually recognize this motion from side leg series if you've been doing some other Pilates classes with me. It's literally the same motion, we're just vertical to gravity now. So we're still trying to stabilize the pelvis. We're still creating instability with the leg and working those muscles, drawing that leg back into hip extension. One more time. And then set that foot down. Stretch your standing foot. Find that good flex in your big toe to stretch up the arch. Now I'm gonna bring the roller more in front of me for this last one. I was trying a different hand for the balance thing. I don't like it. I want it on the same side. So here, we're going to hover that leg up, keep the pelvis neutral, and then open the leg to the side and bring it in. Again, should be familiar from side leg series. Whew, I should not have brought my arm up. Trying without my support system. 2 more. Last one. Bring it in, set that foot down, march it out a little, stretch. Oh, that very tight, tired foot. Let's move our balance aid out of the way, or move your block away if you're using a solid counter or something. And then I want you to put the ball of your foot on your block and the heel down on the floor. And now, back foot steps back a little bit. You're just gonna bend that front knee and straighten it. We're just going into a really intense stretch. Your range of motion is up to you. 2 more. Last one. Bring it up. Fabulous. Now, you're going to lift your heel on that front foot. So, very prancy, like we're wearing a pair of fancy high heels. And here, we're going to bend and come back. There's always a soft bend when you come back, but we're bending it more dramatically over the toe and up. 4 more. Last 3. If you still need your balancing during this, use it. 2. 1 more. And up. Fabulous. Set that foot down. We're just switching to the other one. Ball of the foot and toes are on. Back leg, the one that was just working, comes back behind you now. And we're just gonna bend that front knee and straighten it. Bend. Ooh, this side is so tight. Bend and straighten. 2 more. Last one, and straighten. Now you're gonna lift that heel. There'll be a soft bend to the knee. And all you're doing is shifting forward and back. Forward and back. Last 2. And last 1. Come on up to standing. Take your foot off that block. Now, you're gonna just flip your ankles over again and give them a big stretch across the front. Be nice to them, be nice to them. Our very last thing here is 1 more round of calf raises. Like I said, balance is about feet strength. So, one of the best things we can do is work our feet, using calf raises, working all the connective tissue as well. Grab your block, and you're gonna stand with it between your ankles. Now, here, that's open for interpretation. It can be the narrow way. If you need some more space, it can be a little bit wider. Just depends on your anatomy. So I want you to pick your version, but it should be slightly, I like mine horizontally between ankle bones personally, floating off the ground. Doesn't need to touch down. Hands on hips or over your support system. And on your exhale, lift your heels up without losing that block and lower them. Lift, woo, and lower. When you take away the option of the legs falling out to the sides, you may find that your balance is more precarious because you're forcing some muscles to turn on that may not work normally when you lift your heels. For 3, 2, and 1. Keep them up here. Breathe, breathe, breathe for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I almost didn't make it, y'all. All right, bring that off to the side. Now I'd like to just end with a couple of roll downs with a little focus on weight transfer on the feet. So your feet are gonna be in parallel. It's about fist width for most people, but wider is totally relevant as well if it feels more comfortable for you. Let your arms be down by your sides, and on your next exhale, bring your chin down towards your chest. Hollow your belly a little bit and roll your way down, 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 down. When you find the bottom end range of your motion, you're gonna stop here and transfer the weight, leaning forward onto the balls of the feet and then leaning back onto your heels. Just forward and back. 2 more times, forward and back. Last one, forward and back. Try to evenly distribute the weight between the ball of the foot and the heel, and on your exhale, peel your way up, 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 up. Now, before we do it in a roll down, I wanna do some weight transfer in a very circular fashion. So we're gonna do it standing and then we'll roll down and do it. So from here, imagine that your body is a little stir stick. No part of your feet is gonna leave the floor. They're just gonna have different levels of intensity pressing into the floor. I like hands on hips personally for this one. And we're going to lean forward, roll back to the outside of one foot, roll backwards and up and around the other foot. Imagining your body is just a big stir stick in your iced coffee for the day, and you're mixing that cream all the way in. I'm sorry if you're not a coffee drinker. Make it tea. Make it something else where you gotta mix some sweetener in. One more time this direction, feeling every part of your foot connect down at some point. And then once you're forward, reverse it. Ooh. This direction is much more complicated for me. Last one this way. And then find your way back to center. Even weight on both feet. Let the arms dangle. We're just gonna do the same thing, diving down in front of us now, 3 times in each direction. Big breath in. Exhale, chin to chest. Hollow your belly, dangle down and forward. Let those arms be heavy. Now down here, wherever your baseline is, lean to one side, roll around, and feel how much it changes what's happening up the back and front of your legs. Last one this direction. Come back to the front spot and reverse. Go 3 the other way. 2. And 1. Come back to center. Big breath in. And curl your way back up, 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 up. And that's it, my friends. Feel free to stretch or move your feet around in any way that feels good to you. This is just another little piece in this Buff Up Your Balance series. If you start working through both of the ones that are out right now, your balance will get better. It will. Because you've just got to wake up the receptors in your feet and get your body to understand that it can support itself other places. As always, please use a safety tool of some kind to help you with your balance. I don't need you to just fallen over, though I have many a times. But if you enjoyed this, I hope you come around for another one or try one of my other videos. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next time.